Hi everyone, my name is Albert, one of the co-founders of VectorShift. Today I'm going to talk about how to take a YouTube video and convert it to a blog. This is very common for people who want to repurpose content across different channels. In this case, taking a YouTube video that you might have filmed and converting it to a blog on your website. And maybe you want to translate that blog into a few different languages as well. But you can see that this is quite common, perhaps in other cases. Maybe you've written a blog and you want to repurpose it into social media content, or say you want to take a blog and make a YouTube transcript out of it. Let's head over to VectorShift to show you how to do this. Whenever you have a process that you want to automate, you first want to think about how you yourself will want to do it. If you had been tasked to do this problem, right? If I was tasked to do this, I would first, watch the YouTube video, right? And then I would think about what I want to write in the blog. Maybe first an introduction, then I write the body paragraphs, and then the conclusion. Then I might take what I've written and then I might proofread it to make sure that's cohesive, that there's no grammar mistakes, and that all the different paragraphs tie together. Then I might beautify the blog a little bit by adding some HTML, headers and subheaders, and delineating different parts and sections. Before, if I want to translating, take the whole blog and then translate it into a different language. Let's head over to VectorShift to show you how to build this step by step. First, let's build the pipeline that is able to take a blog or a YouTube video and generate a blog based off of it. When you pass some data into VectorShift, you use an input node. So let's call this the YouTube link. The equivalent programmatically to watch a YouTube video is to get the YouTube transcript. So we could take the YouTube loader out and then connect the link of, pass through the input to the get YouTube transcript node, which is going to take the link and then get the transcript. Now I have to write the different parts of the blog now, right? Starting from the different paragraphs, the introduction, the body paragraphs, and then the conclusion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use OpenAI and instruct this OpenAI to write an introduction based off of this transcript. I have a prompt that I've prepared that basically says the context contains a transcript of a YouTube video. I'm looking to convert this to a blog. Only write the introduction and nothing else. Now I'm going to do the same for the other parts of this blog. So let's go ahead and first connect the get YouTube transcript node to the OpenAI node. To connect nodes in VectorShift, you can use double curly braces, which creates this variable builder. So first you want to select the node that you want to connect to, which is the get YouTube transcript node, right? Which is right here. And then you want to select the output field within the node that you want to pass in. There's only one output field in this node, which is the YouTube transcript. Let's go ahead and select that. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate this node 2 more times. What this is gonna do is I want one OpenAI node to generate the body paragraphs and then the one OpenAI to generate the conclusions. So let's go ahead and change these prompts to be able to do that. I've gone ahead and written this already, but it's just a variation of what we had above, right? So instead of saying I want to generate the introduction, I wrote your job is to generate the body paragraphs, generate multiple sections, and capture all the key points in the video. And then for the conclusion, it's the same thing, but instead of generating the introduction, I write 2 sentences summarizing the main topics, only write the conclusion and nothing else. Now, the final thing we want to do is to generate a title for the blog. Let's go ahead and duplicate this OpenAI node again. And I've written the prompt again to only generate the title. Now, this is equivalent to basically you taking the YouTube video and giving it to 4 different people to go write each of these 4 sections. Now we need basically an LLM that's basically the proofreading LLM to basically take all this information and make sure that there's no overlap, and then cleaning up, and then make sure all the sections are well delineated. So I've written a prompt for this. Let's zoom in and read it. Basically, I've written, you're an expert blog proofreader. Your job is to standardize the formatting, like the headings, ensure there's no duplicate information. If there is, remove the information or adjust information. Do not have the title for the blog. That is handled separately. All right. So let's take each of these pieces and connect each of these 3 pieces generated, the meat of the blog, excluding the title, and connect this to this OpenAI node. So the first OpenAI node is called OpenAI 0. And then the second, the body paragraph is called LLM 0. And then the conclusion is called LM1. Now you can change those names. Those are just auto-generated. So now this is going to proofread it. It's going to unify the sections. And now we have to attach the title node, the LM generating the title to the LM generating the proofread body. Let's use a text node to do that. This one's LM2, which contains the title. And then the proofread blog is called OpenAI 1. Now, the final thing I would probably do if I was actually writing this blog myself is I want to make this look pretty nice, right? So let's add some HTML components to it. I have a prompt that's written here that says, this is a potential blog post of mine. Your job is to diligently convert it to HTML, return nothing but the HTML that's in a way that's easy for the reader to understand. And I gave it some examples and then add some subsections if relevant. All right, so let's pass in this text to this LLM so that it has the blog to reference. There we go. So we have finished generating this blog as soon as I connect this to the output node, which will send the generated blog to this output. Let's review what we have done. We've taken a YouTube transcript. We've YouTube link. We've generated the transcript. Now we have 4 LLMs, one to generate the title, one to generate the introduction, one to generate the body, one to generate the conclusion. We take the bottom 3 LLMs, connect it to another LLM that proofreads it, gets rid of repetitive information. We combine the title with the proofread blog, and then we add HTML components to it and then generate the output. Let's go ahead and deploy changes. Now, in the case that I want to translate this blog into a different language, it's good to now create another pipeline that's able to do that. So let's go ahead and create another pipeline. Let's just say translate blog VF. What this is going to do is going to take in a blog and take in a language that I want to translate it to, and then it's going to spit out the translated blog. So let's go ahead and put the 2 inputs, right? The blog and the language. And what it's going to do is it's going to pass this to an LM, and then it's going to spit out the translated blog. Let's call this translated blog. And I have a prompt that's already written for this. Basically, I've written translated blog to the language, only did above, do nothing else, maintain all the HTML, because as you know, the blog that I've generated has the HTML components. So I'm telling it to maintain that information. So the blog, I'm going to use double curly braces again, is coming from the blog input node. And the language is coming from the language input node. There we go. Let's go and deploy changes. Now, let's actually put this all together now. Now, we just need to create a third pipeline that basically wraps the other 2 pipelines and calls the other 2 pipelines to be able to handle the different pieces. Let's call it YouTube Master Pipeline VF. So what this is going to need from the user, right, which could be yourself or someone in a team in this case, is it's going to take in a YouTube link and it's going to take in the language. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to need to take out a pipeline node, and then you're going to call the pipeline that you just made, called YouTube video to blog VF, right? It's going to take in the YouTube link from this input node, and then it's going to spit out the blog. Then I'm going to need to take another pipeline node, right? And we're going to take the translate blog pipeline, and this is going to take in the blog that is generated from pipeline 0, and then the language coming from the input, and then it's going to spit out the translated blog. So to review, what is going on is I have a master pipeline that takes in 2 inputs from the user, the YouTube link and the language. We're going to pass that YouTube link to the first pipeline that we created today that takes a YouTube link and creates a blog with HTML components. Now, We have a second pipeline that takes in a blog and a language defined by the user and translates the blog to that language while maintaining HTML components. Then that pipeline spits out the translated blog, and then we could also create another output component that just says the blog itself. So it has two outputs that we can see at the end of this.